everybody, it's the War Hipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting the Steelhelms from the Cities of Sigmar in the colours of Hammerhal, Aqsha. Yes, this is the box art, and I'm very, very excited because they're so cool. Best models ever. Massive thank you to Games Workshop for sending me this box. I'm over the moon. I'm a happy little War Hipster, and we're going to be painting up these happy little Steelhelms very shortly. Now, a couple of things to point out before we get into it. They are not entirely uniform as a colour scheme. It's one of those things where they've done a really good job of kind of representing that militia nature of them. So whilst you don't have to follow every single step in this video if you don't want to, you could just pick one of these colours, for example. We're going to be doing a kind of real sort of mishmash of different colours here for the kind of like the uniforms and the cloth and things like that. And well, this might seem like it's overcomplicating it, but when you look at the box art for them and you look at all the product photography, you will notice that whilst they are all from the same city, the clothes will all be slightly different. There are some unifying points of it, but the clothes are all going to be slightly different. Now we're going to be painting these 5, but we do have 10 of them on the go, and they've all been primed in grey cere. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking some Gryph-Hound Orange. That's the very first thing we're going to do, and we're going to use our champion of the unit here to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking this Gryph-Hound Orange. I'm going to apply this all over the top of this kind of top bit of cloth. Just around here like this. And of course, you shouldn't forget the back of it. Just like that. Then we're going to pop this one to one side. I'm going to pick another one at random, and I'm going to go for this individual here. And we're going to do this over the top of the cloth as well. Like that, and then we're going to go over the back. Like that. Then I'm going to pop this one to one side. I'm going to pick a third one, and we're not going to do the top cloth here. What we're going to do is we're going to do the undercloth. And go for this one just here. just like that. And then we've also got the shirt just in there. Like that. So with that Gryph-Hound Orange all applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Blood Angels Red, and we're going to apply this to the lower cloth on this individual. As well as the shirt. Like so. And then on our red one, our orange underclothes here, I'm going to take Blood Angels Red. I'm going to apply this to the top cloth. So with that Blood Angels Red then applied, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde, and we're going to apply this to the lower clothes of this particular individual. As well as the undershirt. Like that. And then we're also going to apply Skeleton Horde to our Herald on the top shirt. just like that. And on our priest, we're going to apply this to the actual shirt. And with that skeleton horde now applied, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Gore-Grunta Fur and we're going to apply this to the lower clothes on both of these and the undershirt. And so with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Cygor Brown and we're going to apply this over the top of this guy's tabard. We just want to avoid the diamond in the middle. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on some more generic details. And the colour we're going to be using is Black Legion next. I'm going to be using this a couple of times throughout this, but for now what we're going to do is we're going to be using the Black Legion to colour in areas such as the boots and the trousers and any remaining kind of undershirts that they might have, and you'll see this kind of around the elbows. So with that Black Legion all applied, we're then going to take some Garaghak Sewer. I'm going to use this to paint in all of our remaining leather details. So this is going to be areas such as the belts, the wraps on their arms, the pouches, the wraps on their legs, all of it. But of course, don't be afraid to chop and change at this point. You absolutely can just go wild here. So with that done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Blood Angels Red once again. I'm going to use this to paint in the wood on the shields. So with that done, I've also applied some Blood Angels Red up here on the helmet, but what we're all going to do now is we're going to kind of just focus in on some of the details that we have. So for example, the kind of decorative features on this guy, we've got the banner and the horn, and we've got the reliquary as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some Black Legion and we're going to apply this over the top of the decorative parts of the shields, and this would be across all of the shields. Like that sort of thing. And we're also going to apply this over the handle of this short sword. Like that. And for this individual, we're going to apply the Black Legion over the top of this bit here. And with all that Black Legion applied, we're then going to take some Agrax Earthshade. I'm going to apply this over the top of the handle of the hammer. And with that now done, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde. I'm going to apply this over the field on the shield. And for our final detail for this one, we're going to take some Cygor Brown. I'm going to apply this over the top of the face and the hands. So with that done, before we engage in any metallics, we're going to pop that one to one side. I'm going to work on our Battle Priest here. And we're going to take some Skeleton Horde. And we're going to apply this over the top of the field on his chest. The large diamond that we avoided earlier. Like that. We're going to apply this over the inner rings of the club. Like that. And we're going to apply this over the skulls. And with that done, we're then going to take some Fyreslayer Flesh. I'm going to use this to paint in his face and his arms. I'm just going to start here in the mouth. Like that. and then just work our way around. And with that Fyreslayer Flesh applied, we're then going to take some Wyldwood and we're going to apply this over the top of the club, but not the reliquary. We'll get to that in just a moment. And with that done, we're then going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Wyldwood and Blood Angel's Red. We're going to apply this over the top of the reliquary. And with that done, we then take some Blood Angel's Red and we apply this over the top of the candle. With that candle done, we're then going to take some Black Legion and we're going to apply this over the top of these straps around the skulls. As well as these decorative bits of metal. On the reliquary, specifically on the staff. And with that then done, we're going to take some Agrax Earthshade and we're going to apply this over the top of the hair and the beard. So with that done, we've got our unique details blocked in, again, just ignoring the metallics just for the moment on both of these. So we're going to pop them to one side and we're now going to do our Herald. Now, the colour we're going to be using first here is Black Legion, and we're going to be applying this to the inside of the flag, but not the large diamond. Got the four corners basically on both sides. But what we're also going to do is we're going to apply this to the decorative metal towards the top of the actual standard itself. Up around here. But not the unicorn on top. So with that Black Legion applied to both sides, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Skeleton Horde. I'm going to apply this over the field. With that Skeleton Horde applied, again, to both sides, what we're then going to do is we're going to take Baal Red and we're going to apply this over the top of the remaining parts of the banner. We're also going to apply this over the top of the red cloth on the horn. With that Baal Red all applied, what we're then going to do is take some Cygor Brown. I'm going to apply this over the top of the banner pole. So with that Cygor Brown applied, we then take some Skeleton Horde and we apply this over the top of the tassel. So with that Skeleton Horde all applied, we then take some Dark Angel's Green and we're going to apply this to the leaf. And finally, for this individual, we're going to take some Darkoath Flesh. I'm going to apply this over the top of the face and the hands. So with that done, we've got all of our unique details coloured in with contrast paints. However, we do have some couple of unique metallics, but before we do that, we're going to start making them look a little bit more finished. And we're going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. And we're going to apply this over, well, all of the armour, all of the weapons, and, well, quite a lot of things actually, to be honest. We've got all of the mail, we've got things like the horn on the herald. We're basically going to cover over all of the remaining details here. And then once that's done, we'll come back. So with all of that Iron Warriors applied, as you can see, we've just got a couple of little details left. And these are going to be a different metallic in the form of Retributor Armour. So this is going to be for areas like the crossguard on this sword. There's little wings above. The pommel. like that sort of thing. These little panels up here, and then for example over here we've got the unicorn like this. So with that done, we've got all of our base coats on across all of our Steelhelms. So now it's time to add some shades. They're looking pretty cool already, but what we are going to do now is we're going to add those shades, and the first one is going to be some Agrax Earthshade. Now we're going to be applying this over the top of quite a few different details, but it's not going to be consistent for all of them. So what we're going to do is over the top of any red cloth, excluding the banner, we're going to apply this over the top. So for example, over this guy's lower robe, like that. Just here as well, around the corner, like that. Simple enough for him. For some of the orange ones, so this one's a red cloth, we're going to actually shade that, and we're going to shade the orange as well. This is how we create even more kind of variation, is by shading some of the clothes with the Agrax Earthshade and leaving some of them the colour they already are. Like that. And then we are going to shade the orange here. Like that. Similarly on this individual, we're going to shade the Gore-Grunta Fur. Like that. And we're going to shade his shirt to create that kind of variation between the skulls and the shirt. But we're not going to do that middle part. Like so. On this guy, we're going to leave the orange but we are going to shade the Skeleton Horde. Like so. And on this one, we're going to shade the Gore-Grunta Fur. And the Skeleton Horde. So with that Agrax Earthshade all applied, we're then going to take some Targor Rageshade and we're going to apply this over the top of all of the metallics. So with that all done, the last shade we're going to add is some Carroburg Crimson. And we're going to apply this over the top of the red cloth on the banner and on the horn. And we're also going to use this to shade the red shield wood. So with that done, our Steelhelms are now at what I would call a War Hipster battle ready. They're looking pretty cool. However, we are of course not going to leave them there. We're going to take them to the next level. I'm going to do this by adding one sort of a layer, but it is a highlight, and the rest of them are going to be highlights. Now the sort of a layer, but is a highlight, is going to be a unifying feature that we're going to do across all of the models. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Screaming Skull. I'm going to use this to pick out the edge of all of the clothes. You've got this kind of little bit of piping almost across all of them. And this is just going to be one of those things that kind of really unifies all of them. It's kind of like a uniform touch. So we're looking for the edges on the bottom bits and the edges on the top. But because we've got that Screaming Skull all thinned down, what we're also going to do is we're going to use this to highlight any areas that we've painted with Skeleton Horde, because we might as well. Marvellous. So areas that are like the Skeleton Horde will be places like these bits on the fronts of the shields, as an example. So with that Screaming Skull all applied, as you can see, across these three and these two, of course, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Evil Sunz Scarlet, and we're going to use this to highlight all of our red details. So we're going to be highlighting the banner, going to be highlighting the wood, going to be highlighting any cloth, just like this sort of thing. So, with that Evil Sunz Scarlet all applied to all of the red details, as you can see, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Bestigor Flesh, and we're going to use this to do two different things. So, what we're going to do, we'll demonstrate on this guy. Firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to use really small amounts of Bestigor Flesh to add a little spot highlight to the wood, and well, to all of the red, to be honest. Just like that sort of thing. And what we're also going to do with the Bestigor Flesh is we're going to use this to highlight any of our orange bits. So for example, up here, so with that done, all of our red and orange details are now finished. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take some thinned down Administratum Grey, and we're going to use this to highlight all of our metallic black. So it's not really a metallic because we've just painted it black, but these are just kind of like a black metal basically. And we're going to just take this Administratum Grey. I'm going to start picking out all of the edges across all of these details. Now it is mostly just the shields, but we do have the occasional bit like the sort of cradle that the unicorn is sitting. On the top of the banner. So you just want to make sure you get all of this. Nice stark highlight for this bit. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Gorthor Brown, and we're going to use this to highlight all of our brown. So we're looking for anywhere that we did with Wyldwood or Cygor Brown or Garaghak's Sewer. There's a lot of that going on, and this will have a greater effect on some areas than it will on others, but that's exactly what we want. And with that then done, we're going to take some Stormvermin Fur. I'm going to use this to highlight our kind of black trousers and boots. And so with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Pallid Wych Flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight any of the areas which we did with just Agrax Earthshade. So this is going to be areas such as the hair and beard on our battle priest. Just like that, and the areas such as the wooden handles of some of the weapons, such as the hammer. So with that done, it is now time to work on all of the skin. And we're going to start with this gentleman. And this is going to be the same for all of the ones that we did with Darkoath or Fyreslayer Flesh. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Fyreslayer Flesh. I'm going to use this to pick out, no, thinned down Flayed One Flesh. That's the correct term. I'm going to use this to pick out all of the raised details in the faces and the hands, and in this gentleman's case, the arms. And with that done, we're then going to take some Knight-Questor Flesh. I'm going to do the same thing on this individual. So with that now done, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Black Legion and we're going to apply this over the top of all the eyeballs. And so with that Black Legion now applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take the tiniest little dot of Screaming Skull. I'm going to apply this in the corners of each of the eyeballs. So that done, we've got most of our colours on here. The only thing remaining is of course all the metallics. And well, what we're going to do now is we're going to do the silver first. Now this bit is optional. I like it because it just adds a little bit of extra shine. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Iron Hand Steel and Iron Warriors. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of the kind of flat areas of all the metallics, of all the silver. So just down here, for example, you have a little bit of this like this, and like that. And same again, do this here on the breastplate, or the cuirass. I'm just looking to avoid any recesses there might be, and of course any of the other details that we've already painted. As mentioned, just want a little bit of shine. Back into some of these flat panels. So with that mix now applied, what we can do is we can take some thinned down Ironbreaker. We can use this to highlight all of that silver. So with that done, we've just got one last highlight to apply, and that is going to be some thinned down Liberator Gold. I'm going to be applying this as a highlight for all of our gold details.
And so with our bases complete, our Steelhelms are now finished. In the colours of Hammerhal, Aqsha of course, and I think they look wonderful. I really love this orange and red, dash of yellow and bone and all that kind of thing. They really do look like a professional militia, which is exactly what I was going for, and I can't wait to paint more of these in the other schemes. Man, Cities of Sigmar, eh? What a time. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to support me a little bit further, you absolutely can do. Head over to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And you can also become a YouTube channel member, just like this incredible bunch of folks scrolling up on the screen before you. There's a hell of a lot of you, and well, I can't do this without you. YouTube and Patreon, you guys absolutely keep the lights on and make all of this worth it. Thank you so much to all of you for everything you do. And if you really like this video and you just want to shoot me a little thanks, you can click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.